Hey forum, my name is Manny, aka CascadeScents. Welcome to another video. As you see by the title, this one is on my very best fragrance deals for fall 2020. And deals might be way more meaningful for you now, more than ever, just because times are tough with this ongoing worldwide pandemic. So again, that's not fun. But the fun should never stop when it comes to fragrances. That's why we're here. We love them. And again, it's easy to prolong that fun with the amount of deals that I have here, hopefully. So some of these are really awesome. So some of them are as high as more than half off of retail and or sometimes 2/3 off retail in general. That's crazy. That's nothing to scoff at. And that's for designers, niches, sometimes stuff kind of in between. So I feel like there is something here for everyone when it comes to fall fragrances. That being said, we do have a lot to get to, so we might as well jump right into it, shall we? So here we go with the first fragrance and deal that I have to tell you about. It is for Versace pour Homme Oud Noire by Versace. Now before I break this stuff down scent wise and deal wise, I think out of the ones I'm about to present to you today, this is the one that you definitely can no longer get officially in North America. Like, it's no longer on the Versace US website, but still on the international sites like in Italy or France. So watch out for that if you're one of those types who want to smell something in real life somewhere first before you buy it online, and or if you just want to get it at a quote-unquote legit brick and mortar retailer. Unfortunately, you can no longer do that for this juice here in North America. So with all that being said, let's take a look at that retail pricing. Holy, it's not cheap. We're talking about 120 euros, so that's about 140 US dollars. I actually think that's kind of fair for this 100 ml. I think it definitely leans in that mid to high end designer range as far as the scent itself. But if you do some digging on sites like FragranceX, FragranceNet, Fragrance Buy, places like that, you can find this for as low as 60-ish US dollars. So yeah, definitely don't sleep on this if you are looking for something like it. If you're familiar with scents like Versace Man, it kind of opens up like that when it comes to the black pepper into maybe the saffron mid. So you're getting heavy doses of that until it dries down into something that's not really tobacco-y, but rather oudi, like the name actually is depicting here. So this would have came out during the kind of oud wood boom of the late 2000s into the early 2010s. So oud was just a really hot keyword at the time. And on the designer level, barring what made Western ouds a thing in Oud Wood by Tom Ford, I would say it's this fragrance right here in Oud Noire that was the highest profile designer wise at the time. But again, heavily discounted from overseas. And if you're looking for a palatable for the West, non-stanky oud that is still kind of deep, still smoky with some spicy nuances, definitely check this out if you've yet to. Again, it's Versace pour Homme Oud Noire by Versace. Moving on to the next fall fragrance deal, here we go. It's a niche one this time. It's by Serge Lutens and it's called 5 o'clock au gingembre. Now this deal for 5 o'clock I just think is absolutely incredible. But to be fair, you can apply this deal to most of the Serge Lutens 50 mls. This is just the Serge I like the most, so that's why it's here on this list. And for its high quality tea scent that you really can't get anywhere else and how unique it is, I actually don't hate the initial price point of 150 US dollars. But if you do some digging on sites like FragranceX, FragranceNet, Fragrance Buy, places like that, you can find this for as low as 60-ish US dollars. So at that rate, we're talking about 60% off. And again, nothing to scoff at. You know, I already love this fall fragrance. If you've been here from time ago, I've been talking about this stuff for years. It's supposed to be like its inspiration, like a 5 o'clock tea at Buckingham Palace. I know it sounds kind of bougie, but it's not that bougie to me. It doesn't evoke luxury. It's just a very comforting, spicy, yet somewhat candied, sweet tea scent. It reminds me of the tea my mom used to make for me when I used to get sick as a child. So for me, it also brings back memories. I love that. And yeah, overall, I just think it's as pleasing as tea scents get. Again, I know some of you are also apprehensive of tea because sometimes it leans too green, and here it just leans more cozy and warm and spicy and sweet rather than just straight up green. That being said, I must say that despite whatever pictures you see on some of these discount websites, if it depicts an older bottle design kind of like what I have here, just expect a newer bottle design, and that's something I wouldn't be too apprehensive of. I have tried the new bottle and performance is relatively the same. But to anyone out there who spent more time with some Serge Lutens fragrances than I have in the last few months, or I guess the last few years that the newer package has been out now, if you want to tell me in the comments below if they are that much reformulated, please do. But even if they are, I just think that they're still amazing for about 60% off. So definitely please check this out if you've yet to. This is my favorite Serge Lutens. It is 5 o'clock Eau Gingembre. Moving on to the third fragrance on this list. This is for another designer this time. It is by Lalique, and it's from the Encre Noire line. Not Encre Noire, but Encre Noire à l'extrême. So this smokier cousin of the very inky initial Encre Noire, I think, is to die for the fall, especially when you consider its price point amongst its brothers in the line. This one is worth the most, and it is actually discounted for even more if you were to consider the percentages. So again, that's about 120 euros, about 140 US dollars again, to about under 35 US dollars discount. That is over 100 US dollars in savings. Incredible for an arguably more adventurous take on what was already an adventurous fragrance in Encre Noire. So we're talking the same inky vibe on that cypress and vetiver that you know from Encre Noire, but you make that even more smoky with notes like incense, and I just think that this is just super appropriate for the fall. I know some people, when it comes to fall, you typically think of the more cozier notes, so vanillas, tobaccos, sometimes ambers, things like that. But yeah, you definitely have to check out some more mysterious, smokier offerings if you have the palate for it. And say if you do jump on something like this and you don't like it, again, you can take solace in the fact that you saved over 100 US dollars. But honestly, overall, if you do like the initial Encre Noire and you don't mind a little twist on that, again, that's exactly what you're getting here. It would be hard to hate for you as a result. So definitely check this out if you've yet to. It's Encre Noire à l'extrême by Lalique. Moving on to the next fragrance. This one is a niche one. It's by Guerlain. It's called Louis. So this stuff lists at 185 US dollars for its 50 ml presentation. So it goes without saying, this is the most expensive fragrance on this list. And despite the previous savings on the previous fragrances, you're actually saving the most money on this fragrance right here too. Because usually you can get this for just under 65 US dollars, which is also around 2/3 off. Saving 120 US dollars from a brand that is as prestigious as Guerlain. Really cool stuff. But that really doesn't matter unless you know what it smells like. So what does it smell like? Now, if you've been on this channel in the past few weeks, you would know that I've been gassing this fragrance up recently too. And just like à l'extrême, it is a smoky one, but it takes another take on smoke. It's more so intoxicating. Here you have a resin in benzoin, which is known for its intoxicating take on something that smells kind of like vanilla, but here it really doesn't lean that kind of sweet. It's more spicy and a tad floral, especially with the carnation, which is a spicy floral that's used heavily throughout this fragrance, and I personally love it for that. It has this nice vintage feel as a result. I think it makes a lot of sense with the black going on here on the bottle and its Art Deco-ish style and font. I'm really enchanted with that era, and I think this is a nice nod to that era while still smelling kind of modern. Like, as far as the spices go, they feel rather contemporary in comparison to other vintage fragrances I would have smelled in the past. That being said, with all these vintage inspirations and the fact that it is Guerlain, I think it is an acquired taste. Actually, I feel like it's perhaps the most acquired taste out of everything here on this list. But if it makes you feel any better, and if you are to smell this off the nozzle from maybe a tester, or if you were to spray it on a test strip or something like that, it might even feel too intense for you there too. But I do urge you to actually wear this one out if you do feel like testing it. I've had people smell it off a card and just found it a little bit too extra, but off of me, they found it really enchanting. I definitely feel like that's this stuff right here. So again, check it out if you have yet to. Again, 2/3 off of a high-end Guerlain is really cool. Once more, it's Louis by Guerlain. And moving on to the last fragrance on this list, this one is also a designer, and depending on who you are, you might actually find that this is the strongest deal here, despite all those crazy savings that we've aforementioned so far. And it's for this fragrance right here. It's Bentley For Men Absolute by Bentley. So firstly, let's get through its evaluation. So from the car make Bentley, this stuff in For Men Absolute retails for about 102 euros, which is about 120 US dollars. So again, not cheap, but just like some of the other fragrances on this list, you're also getting over 2/3 off retail here. Typically, it goes for about $40 or less on the discounter level. So it goes without saying, for this soft, woody, frankincense-y kind of fragrance, I think that's a hell of a price. But the real reason to why I think that you might think that this is the strongest deal out here is because it's a clone. Now I know that might scare some of you niche snobs off, but just know that the person who cloned this scent actually made the original too, and his name is Michel Amarek, and the original of this scent that he did was Gucci Pour Homme by Gucci. The initial Gucci Pour Homme is more of a burnt smokiness rather than a green brisker smokiness here in the frankincense of this scent. But for the most part, despite how awesome that scent is, I'd rather tell you to get this because of how discounted it is. But you still might be wondering, why should I not just pursue the original? But of course, if you know anything about fragrances in the last 15-20 years, you would know that unfortunately Gucci Pour Homme is no longer with us. It's been discontinued and is now fetching ridiculous secondhand pricing off of markets like eBay now in the form of these crazy bidding wars. So I'm saying you're not going to feel as bad buying a clone of it when it's the OG perfumer who also made this too. Just connect the dots, guys. They discontinued his scent from Gucci and he wanted to salvage the DNA, and I guess he did it with Bentley because it was a good fit, tweaked it a little, and it's still rather awesome, especially for the price you can get it for. That being said, if you have a connection to the Tom Ford days of Gucci and you really like that initial Gucci scent and you want to pursue it and you can afford it, definitely do it. I can't personally argue against someone's personal nostalgia, but if you are getting into fragrances kind of recently and or you just didn't get on Gucci Pour Homme back in the day and you were already on this shit, I just think it's the wisest thing to do is to just buy this guy right here. So again, check it out if you have yet to. Again, it's Bentley For Men Absolute by Bentley. Alright forum, before we conclude this video, I, Manny from the not so distant past and or future, has something to say on behalf of our beloved sponsor for today, and that is Encre. Encre makes these really premium wallets that will definitely set you apart from the rest of the pack when it comes to coolness. And while there are other quick access RFID blocking wallets out there, I think this one with this kind of motion that you just push is the slickest I've ever personally used. Of course, you have a nice minimalist design here that I can't also get enough of. You just have all the essentials here. So nowadays you're not carrying that much cash and the world is largely going into a more digital direction. So why not go with something like this? But the real star of the show is this guy right here behind the wallet. This is your extra Chipolo tracker card, and I think this thing is quite awesome. You kind of just slide it in back there and then you sync it to the Chipolo app on your iPhone and or Android. And from here, in case you misplace your wallet, you can actually find out where it is. So let me show you. So on the app, I can physically click on Ring to Find. And there you go. So wherever this is at, wherever you might have left it locally and or wherever, you'll always have access to it via the app, ensuring that you'll never lose the location of this wallet unless someone actually takes the tracker card out. But this thing works both ways too, because I don't know about you guys, but whenever I'm working at home, I always seem to misplace my actual phone. And now I can use this right here in the tracker card's buzzer to actually find my phone locally if it's just nearby. So also check this out now. I'm going to double click the tracker card. Come on, that's pretty cool, isn't it? I have to give a big shout out to them for sponsoring this video. So what I'm saying is, if you guys want, also support my sponsors because they're able to support this as far as furthermore financially. And just so you know, that love is furthermore reciprocated from our end. You'll get a discount on any of these great extra wallets using my affiliate link in the description below. It's only a summer seasonal automatic code applying, so please do not sleep. So it's specifically the Parliament wallet by Encre for the win. And there it is, forum. Hopefully you enjoyed all of these fragrance deals for fall 2020. Again, if you want to get that head start on shopping, hopefully you can now. Hopefully you find something you like here and you tell me in the comments about it. Also, what do you think of everything on this list? I would love to know. And if you have any potential video ideas for me to do in the future, again, just let me know there in the comments too. If you've yet to subscribe though, please do so and hit the notification bell as well. It really helps this channel out and helps you out too if you want more awesome content like this, hopefully. So until the next one, I'll catch you later. Thanks again, forum. Take care for now. Peace out. Bye. Wear your fragrances.